Hey friends, welcome to NIKRA'S Expert Learning. So in the previous video, we have discussed what is prestressed concrete, what is the principle of prestressed concrete, and the various stresses that are developed, and the cable profiles we have discussed. Okay, so in today's video, we are discussing the methods of prestressing, like pre-tensioning, post-tensioning, what are the requirements of that, and what are the tensioning devices we generally use, and the systems of these prestressing. So coming to the methods. So there are two methods of pre-stressing. First is the pre-tensioning and second is the post-tensioning. So in the pre-stressing system, there are two systems. Okay, the first one, pre-tensioning system. So here the tendons are first tensioned. Okay, so first they are tensioned and then the casting of concrete is done in the molds. And in post-tensioning, the concrete units are first casted by we are incorporating some ducts or grooves to house the tendons. So we are giving some space, some gaps into which these tendons are inserted. So as per the codal provisions, minimum grade of concrete for pre-tensioning is M40, for post-tensioning is M30. Remember, the minimum grade of concrete is pre-tensioning is M40, for post-tensioning is M30. This is a very important bit that can be asked in any sort of competitive exams. Even when you are asked in any bid banks or any interviews, this would be the most general question that would be asked in prestressing. Okay, let us now see the systems of prestressing. But before saying that, we'll first understand what are the tensioning devices. Like generally depending upon the category, we'll be first mentioning this. Okay, first would be the mechanical one, second is hydraulic, third is electrical or the thermal one. Okay, electrical and thermal are same. And next comes the chemical one. So depending upon the system we are using, tensioning devices, the mechanism is different. So as you all know, the first one is mechanical. So when I am saying the mechanical system, this means we are using some weights, okay, with or without lever arm. So generally we are giving some pulley blocks, the screw jacks. So mechanically we are inducing this pre-stress. Okay, this is the mechanical one. And next let us see what is the electrical devices. Electrical devices is nothing but we are using some wires, steel wires or deformed bars, okay, that are electrically heated and anchored. So here we are using the anchorage system which is electrically operated. Okay, this is electrical one. And next let's see the chemical method. So we know some expanding cements, right? So the degree of expansion is controlled by using some curing conditions. So here we'll fix this curing conditions and we'll use this expansive concrete. So this expansive cement, what will it do? So initially we will pour this cement and we'll leave it so it will get expanded. So here the setting is restrained. So it will induce some tensile forces in the tendons and compressive forces in the concrete. Remember, in pre-stressing, whenever we are talking about this, in tendons we are inducing some tensile forces. Okay, so the tensile forces are induced in. So whenever we are talking about this pre-stressing force, understand the same in the chemical method. Here the expansive cements are used, right? So that will induce the tensile force in the tendons. Okay, tendon is nothing but, if you want the terminology in detail, see the part 1 of this video. Okay, please check out the prestressed concrete playlist in my channel. Okay, so they will be inducing some tensile force in tendons and the concrete surrounding it would be subjected to some compressive force. Okay, the compressive stress is induced in this. So this is the compressive stress and the tendons are subjected to tensile stress. Okay, let us now see the systems of pre-stressing. So this is the pre-tensioning system. So in this, as the name is explaining, pre-tensioning is the tendons are first tensioned between some rigid blocks. Okay, these are the rigid blocks I am talking about. So they are cast on ground, okay, or in a column mold. So here this may be a unit mold that is separately casted, or it can be directly casted on the ground itself. Okay, this is a unit mold. So this is a pre-tensioning bed. Okay, this bottom one is the pre-tensioning bed. So these are the components of pre-tensioning system. Okay, understand it very clearly. What is pre-tensioning? Here the tendon is nothing but this wire. Okay, these are tensioned between the rigid blocks. These are the rigid blocks. They are directly casted on the ground or a column or unit mould type. This is the pre-tensioning bed. Okay, the bottom one is the casting bed or pre-tensioning bed we call it. So all of this happens when prior to the casting of concrete in the mould. So this is the mould. Okay, the dotted portion is the mould. So this is the allowance given to pour the concrete. So before pouring the concrete itself, we are tensioning this wire, the tendon. Okay, this is the beam, this is the mould. So first we are tensioning this, and after that we are pouring the concrete. Okay, this is the pre-tensioning system. So we are now studying the systems of pre-stressing. First comes the pre-tensioning system. In pre-tensioning there is only one system, that is Hoyer. Hoyer. Okay, so what happens is this: in this anchor system, a single bed is taken. In the single bed, two anchorages are provided. Okay, these are the two bulkheads. To these two bulkheads, we are first the tendons are anchored. Okay, here whenever we are talking about the long line process, the tendons are stretched between these two bulkheads. Okay, so several hundred meters apart. So the distance between these two bulkheads is several hundreds. Okay, several 100 meters apart. Okay, several 100 meters apart, like 800 meters, 500 meters. So depending upon the requirement, okay, and the space we are having. So the tendons are first stressed. Okay, and after that between the two bulkheads, so that the number of similar units. So similar units in the sense same size. Okay, the same size, 3 members are casted. Let's say 3 members. Okay, so 3 members are casted. Here the tension, the wires are grouped. Okay, as shown in this figure. So this would be a fixed one, and here this would be a movable one. So up to the required. So once the required tension is achieved in this, till then we will be moving this. This is a movable one. Okay, you understood? The tension is applied by this hydraulic jack, or we can say it as movable stressing machine. So wires are stressed until the required tension is achieved. So after that we are pouring the concrete in each of this. Okay, and we will allow it. The transfer of pre-stress is usually achieved by this hydraulic or screw jacks. Okay, initial one. So here after 28 days of concrete maturity, the anchors of the tendon or cable are cut and the compressive stress is induced. Okay, so this is the process of pre-tensioning. This is the pre-tensioning system. Next let us see what is post-tensioning. And next let us see what is post-tensioning. So this is the diagrammatic representation of this. So in this method, the concrete section or the member is casted first. Okay, here the concrete member is casted first. We are providing some ducts, okay, for the tension members to pass through it. Okay, so after that they are tensioned with high tensile steel wires. Okay, so coming to the anchorages, the post tensioning system is pre-stressed. Like they are having two types. One is the bonded post tensioning, second is the unbonded post tensioning. So I'll explain you. I told you first initially the casting of concrete is done. So in this we will provide some gaps, ducts. We see in the metro pillar constructions, right? Generally some ducts are like gaps are provided in that. So in that the wires are placed and they're post tension. So after the casting of concrete is done, they're tension. That is what we are calling it as post tensioning systems. Okay, in these two types are there. First comes the bonded post tensioning. That is, in this type of pre-stressing, the sheeting is grouted with cement slurry and is kind of full pre-stressing. You have understood, right? Like once the wire is induced in this, there will be some gap in this, right? So this gap we are filling it with grout. Okay, whenever we are filling the entire gap with this grout, we are calling it as bonded, because there is some bond between this new concrete and the wire, right? So this is bonded pre-stressing. And next we are having unbonded, that is no grouting is provided. So it's kind of partial pre-stressing, because there is no bond between them. We are calling it as partial pre-stressing. So generally pre-stressing we are having some types. the linear prestressing and circular prestressing. So whenever it is along the single line length, we are calling it as linear prestressing, and if it is happening in terms of any circular one, like the shape of this prestressing, it explains the type of it. Okay, the linear one and circular prestressing. And in the next video we'll see the systems of prestressing, like Hoyer system, Prestressed system, Magnell-Blatten system, Lee-Michael system. So these are generally the 4 systems of prestressing that we use. Okay, so that is it with this video, guys. If you like this video, please like, share and comment to the channel, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. Thank you for watching this video.